My name is Mitchell T. Tracy. I'm the moderator for today. I'm also a candidate for Clark County Commission District F. We'd like to thank our panel for being here. Robert Foust, U.S. Army, Steve Sanson Jr., U.S. Army, Mantis Toboggan, VIP Radio co-host, and Mike McDonald, VIP Legislative Council. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, Ron Q. for Clark County Treasurer, Michael Broadway, Real Estate, Real Water, Lakeside Business Suites. We're here with Constable for North Las Vegas Township, Jimmy Vega, and we'll go ahead and give you 2 minutes for your opening statement. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jimmy Vega and I'm running for North Las Vegas Constable. I'm a deputy constable, so I'm the only candidate that's running that's a deputy constable. I've also been in the Navy for 24 plus years. I'm in the reserves. I'm a chief petty officer and FMF corpsman. What I want to do is I want to bring stability and I want to bring integrity back to the office of constable. After the last several years of controversy with the Henderson Constable, the Las Vegas Constable, the North Las Vegas Constable, I threw my name in the hat to run because I want to bring some integrity back. I'm tired of hearing from metro officers or whatever officer that says, oh, you're not a real cop. You know, until I give them an earful and that changes right away. But I want to bring integrity back. So.
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. So how do you plan to bring integrity back?
Well, so right now I sit on the board of, it's called Vega-Endorsed Association of Real Estate Professionals. I've been on the board for 4 years. And what we do is we fundraise all year. We take that money and we're donated houses from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, different financial institutions. We take that money, we refurbish the house, we get a nominated veteran, and they go through the vetting process and we give them a mortgage-free home. So part of my duties as the Constable of North Las Vegas is I want to battle veteran homelessness. So my intention is to create a pamphlet that's going to be entitled, "Do you need to find a new home now? Call us." And that's going to be put up when my deputies go out to serve a 5-day notice of eviction. They're going to post that pamphlet along with that. Because being a deputy constable, the worst part of the job is evicting a veteran. You always notice a veteran because they're always wearing that cover, right? So we have to follow the letter of the law, but we can do it with some compassion. So if I can battle that and get them some help that they need prior to us coming back 5 days later, we don't have to evict them.
Steve Sanson Jr., U.S. Army. What are some other things that you think are within your power as constable to help veteran homelessness?
Well, besides that, you know, unfortunately, there are a lot of already homeless veterans. You know, I want my office to be an advocate for veterans because a lot of citizens are either intimidated by or confused by government. So I want them to feel that they can call my office and hear a friendly voice, not just mine, my staff, and that we can do something to help them. At least point them in the right direction.
Hi, Mike McDonald, VIPI Legislative Council. If elected as constable, one of the duties is to serve paperwork and to pretty much have the same powers as an officer. Would you do you support civil forfeiture, and what would you do to combat that and make sure that the evictions that you do that especially in veterans, that you support replacement or support giving them resources that could help them find another places? I know in North Las Vegas we have an influx of people that have moved there, so what would you do in regards to civil forfeiture and for veterans getting evicted?
Well, like I said in my opening, is that you know, we have to still follow the letter of the law. So if we get an eviction notice, we have to serve that notice and 5 days later evict them. But that pamphlet is what we can do to try to alleviate some of that. They have to make those calls. I can't make the call for them, but I can point them in the right direction. I mean, with the experience I've had with Veteran Association of Real Estate Professionals, I have the resources, I have the contacts, life after active duty. I mean, there's so many organizations out there that would even help their dogs. So if they have dogs, like there's a lot of veteran homeless people out there with their dogs. There are groups that would help not only them, but their pet. So that's what I would do.
I know right now you currently hold a position. If elected to constable, aside from veteran-related issues, what other issues do you think demand some attention?
Well, seniors are a big deal. And this also applies along with veterans, seniors and families with children. I mean, again, the worst part of that job is evictions. You know, so you have to do it, but that's the worst part of it. It's not like throwing a bad guy in jail. You know, this is something that you have to kind of tune out, but do you really tune out? So I would focus veterans, seniors, and families with children. So those same kind of resources, I would slip something on the back that's not veteran related, that would help them, the seniors and the families with children.
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. So what do you think you can do to bring the community's respect back to the constable's office? Because the constable's office it's just about gone, isn't it?
Well, it's not gone.
But it's close.
Well,
So what would you do to bring back some respect and status to the office of the constable?
well, I think the problems that have occurred is that none of these, besides the Henderson Constable, have had the right background. I mean, there's no military background, there's no law enforcement background. You know, I would run it like the military runs. You know, results, no excuses. So just disciplinary form. This is how it needs to be done. This is the way it's going to be done, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So follow chain of command. There will be certain protocols put in place, SOPs, as far as physical fitness, maintaining physical fitness. Also annual training, active shooter, MACTAC, defensive tactics, everything that post requires. If you're not post certified, you're not getting hired in North Las Vegas Constable's office.
What's the yearly budget there, and what do you think you could do to cut it by 10%?
I don't know the annual budget, okay? But what I do know is that office is not being run right, because there's a lot of aspects. You see, all these guys that are running for this office are they're all either retired police officers or, in the case of the current constables, nothing. So the thing is, there's different aspects of running the constable's office. There's different departments, evictions, property seizures, which they don't do. Property seizures, let me give you an example of a property seizure. You sue someone. You get the judgment from the court. The judge now writes a writ of execution that you can bring to the constable's office. We've done property seizures from 5,000 to 10 million because we have the authority to do that. So we'll go in with moving trucks, tow trucks, locksmiths to your home or your place of business. We'll seize everything. Even send deputies to the banks for bank garnishments, freeze the assets, and we will collect everything, sell it, or auction it off. The client gets paid, and the excess that's not sold goes back to the client. That's just property seizures. Again, there's bank and wage garnishments. There's evictions. I mean, there's different departments within the constable's office of what we can do. And I would bring on more deputies and create more work for them. So, and deputies are not paid by the taxpayers. They're independent contractors. The only one that's paid by the taxpayers is the constable, the elected constable.
Who pays the deputies?
They're paid commissions. They're commission based per service that they perform. So the taxpayers are not paying them.
Any other questions from the panel?
Yeah.
Michael, go ahead.
Michael McDonald. So I have a question that related to squatters. There was an influx of squatters during the real estate bubble that happened. As the constable, when people would call out to have, hey, my house has been squatted in, or I need these people evicted, it's been putting a lot of real estate agents in danger. You know, they're afraid to go in the house or something. What would you do to combat the squatters coming there and possibly providing other resources for those people, or making sure that they don't come back?
It's a great question. See, I'm also a realtor. So I've been approached by GLDR, BORPAC, and I want to be a direct conduit for those realtors, not only in that aspect, but to help realtors go through firearms training. Because a lot of, well, I'm sure you've heard there was a woman in Texas that was raped and murdered because she entered a house and there was squatters in there, and that's what happened to her. So basically, what I would do is I would team up, because again, military, one team, one fight, is that I would team up with the North Las Vegas PD. I had the opportunity to speak with Chief Perez, and they have a small task force that is trying to combat that problem with squatters. But as the constable and the deputies, we have a little more power than they do to fight against the squatters. So I would team up with them and combat that issue.
Robert Foust, U.S. Army VIP member. So aren't you just basically in direct competition with the Marshal's office?
No, the Marshal's office serve bench warrants. We can serve civil bench warrants, but Marshals don't do anything.
Squatters?
Well, in what
Evictions? Marshals do that, don't they?
No.
No, they don't do evictions.
Any other questions from the panel? If not, thank you. This is Mitchell T. Tracy. I'm the moderator for today, and I'm also a candidate for Clark County Commission District F. Thank you to our panel. Also like to thank our sponsors, Ron Q for Clark County Treasurer, Michael Broadway, Real Estate, Rural Water, Lakeside Business Suites. We're here with the candidate for Constable, North Las Vegas Township, Jimmy Vega, and you can go ahead and give your closing statement, please.
Okay, so the constable and their deputies are the boots on the ground that really see people in need. They're the first ones, the first agency to see people in need. So again, what I want to do is I want to combat veteran homelessness. I want to help seniors and families with children so that they don't get evicted. I want my office to be an advocate for you, and I just want to try to do the right thing. So, and I want to bring integrity back to that office. The constable's office and their deputies is an asset in the law enforcement community. It always has been. It's just been tarnished over the last several years. So I can fix that. So, thank you. I appreciate your time.